Welcome to Laos, a landlocked country roughly the size of the state of Utah and totaling approximately 236,800 square kilometers of land and water. Except for the Mekong lowlands and three major plateaus, the terrain of Laos is rugged, mountainous, and heavily forested. Jagged crests in the north tower over 9,000 feet. One of Laos's major geographic features is the Mekong River, the longest river in Southeast Asia, the seventh longest in Asia, and the 12th longest in the world. The Mekong flows through four countries until it empties out in the South China Sea. Vientiane, the capital of Laos, lies on its banks. The Laotians are descendants of Thai tribes that were pushed southward from Yunnan, China, in the 13th century and gradually infiltrated the territory of the Khyber Empire. In the mid-14th century, a powerful kingdom called Lakshan was founded in Laos by Phra Naguan, who is also credited with the introduction of Theravada Buddhism and much of the Khmer civilization into Laos. Internal dissensions brought about a split of Lakshan, and soon they were overrun by neighboring countries. During World War II, the Japanese briefly occupied Laos, who in 1945 declared independence. Independence did not last. Laos was taken over by the French in 1946, and in 1949, Laos became a part state within the French Union. However, in 1953, Laos again attained full sovereignty, and admission into the United Nations came in 1955. In the early 1990s, Laos abandoned economic communism for capitalism. Meanwhile, the nation pursued improved relations with such former enemies as Thailand, China, and the United States. Laos had presidents just like the United States. A George Washington comparison to Laos is a man named Keystone Phamihane, who was the first communist president in Laos. One of the past three presidents is this man here, Nuhak Pham and when he retired in 1988, was succeeded by Khamte Siphandone, a former military leader. Khamte retained as party leader and president into March of 2006, when he was succeeded by Vice President Chumli Sasayoni. Of course, the president doesn't remain president for the rest of his life. The president is elected by the legislature for a 5-year term, and the government is headed by the premier, who is appointed by the president. The unicameral legislature consists of the 115-seat National Assembly, whose members are popularly elected for a 5-year term. The only permitted political party is the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, or the Lao Communist Party. Administratively, the country is divided into 15 provinces and one municipality, or the capital. Today, Laos's major industries are logging and timber, and are run by the state and army-controlled companies. During the 1990s, there was a rapid expansion of foreign-owned garment-making factories. Hydroelectric power generation is another major industry. Sports in Laos are extremely underdeveloped due to lack of facilities. Most people in Laos play sports that require little equipment, like basketball, soccer, and badminton. The Laotian national soccer team competes in various international and regional tournaments, but has not made it past the first round in a major event. As of October 2006, they have a FIFA ranking of 183. As for the Laos national basketball team, they are one of the weakest teams in the world, and they have yet to qualify in the FIBA Asia Championships or in the FIBA World Championships. Food in Laos is extremely interesting. Sticky rice there is the staple. Spoons and forks are used to manipulate the dishes that accompany the rice, while sticky rice may be dipped directly into condiments of chili paste and fish paste. Soup is also a regular feature of meals. In the countryside, people eat chopped raw meat and foods gathered from the surrounding forest. Hygiene campaigns have caused a decline in the eating of raw food in cities. For most lowland Lao, fish dishes are a central part of the diet. Relatively little pork is eaten, and chicken, buffalo, and beef is more common. An important culinary change in the main cities is the spread of dog eating, which previously was associated with Vietnamese and Sino-Viet groups. Dog meat is considered a strong meal dish, and is accompanied by strong liquor. In the countryside and mountains, fermented rice beer is drunk from jars using bamboo straws. In the cities, beer consumption is widespread. Laos does not generally reserve special foods for the New Year or other occasions, and food generally do not have special meaning. Celebrations involve more food and a greater variety of foods, with more sweets, desserts, and alcohol. A major holiday in Laos is known as Bun Pha Wet, commemorating the Jakarta tale of the Buddha's second-to-last incarnation as Pha Wet or Prince Vesantara. The celebration takes place at the local monastery, where a contingent of monks recite the tale as a long chant. In larger towns, entertainment in the form of live band and dancing takes place. Today, according to Laotian newspaper Vientiane Times, Laos is trying to soothe conflicts with their neighbor Thailand. Also, Laos New Year, which is in April, has come and gone with much excitement. Laos is also in the midst of becoming a greener country, according to the March 29, 2010 issue of the Vientiane Times, whose main article is Switching Off to a Greener World. This picture here is of children who are holding candles around the Pak Tourse monument because lights were turned off for an hour at 7 p.m. on Saturday evening to save energy and reduce carbon emissions in support of the worldwide observation of Earth Hour. The United States is also in Laos's newspapers. When I first read one of Laos's main articles, it was very interesting to see how other countries see the United States. In the article I read, they talked about how President Barack Obama announced on Friday a new treaty with Russia will replace the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty that expired late last year. They speak of the United States' large nuclear arsenals and about how a war with Russia could affect them. Laos has come a long way since its independence last century. Even though they pale in comparison to countries like the United States, give them time, they will probably prosper. This is the Laotian flag. The white symbolizes justice and the promise of the future. Blue stands for prosperity, and the red stands for unity and purpose and the bloodshed during the struggle for freedom. Welcome to Laos, a country ready to rise.